So it sounds like a rough day for you at the office today.
Is this one of those things where I have to restate the question?
No.
It has been a hard day for the character of Bernie at the office because he is being reprimanded for inappropriate behavior. But it has been a great day for John Hodgman at the office because I am being paid for inappropriate behavior as a cast member of Married, and I like that very much. That was a good answer.
That's a good answer.
Put that on the web.
So do you feel you kind of have to be ready for anything with this role?
No, I don't have to be ready for anything because they actually write out scripts ahead of time. Yeah, so I have to be ready.
I mean, before you get the script.
I have to be ready to know. I have to be ready to know my lines because Andrew Gerland, the creator of the show, and all the other writers are really funny, and they write really good lines, and they like them when you say them properly, and I like to make them happy. But it is true that I do have to be ready for anything conceptually. It was not in my mind even 3 weeks ago that I was going to be walking around this fake office with fake gray wig in my pants. And did you happen to watch any of that? Maybe I didn't want to spoil anything. And every now and then, Andrew Gerland will come over to me when I'm trying to eat my lunch or enjoy a cup of coffee or just have some quiet time, and he'll sit right next to me really close, and he'll put his arm around me and cackle into my ear what new degradation they have come up for me as Bernie. And I'm always, at first I'm like, I'm just trying to eat, but then he says, you're going to be doing this ridiculous thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you came over. That was really funny. And then I do it. So yes, that was a pretty good answer too. I'm knocking them out of the park so far.
What do you most enjoy about this character besides the degradation?
What I enjoy about the character Bernie is that he is a weird, out-of-touch nebbish, very much in the wheelhouse of weird, out-of-touch nebbishes I've played before. But then I realized that of all of the characters, he is the most personally and sexually happy. Everyone else is reaching major crises in their lives all of the time. Hang on a second. I think we may have to wrap this up very quickly. All of the other characters are facing terrible crises in their, not terrible crises, actually, they're very common crises, getting older, marriages falling apart, new relationships, feeling unattractive. And Bernie is a guy who feels consistently attractive, perfectly happy, and is really the grounding point. When you see, he's really the grounding point for all these characters. And when you initially watched the show, you said, why are they all friends with him? And then what I realized, and I think some of the other actors realized when I told them, is that, I'm the happiest, I'm just a happy guy, and it's nice to be around happy people. Part of my happiness, of course, has to do with my television wife, Cindy, who has never been seen in the grand tradition of sitcoms. And in fact, this season has never been mentioned. So I don't know what's going on with Cindy. But Cindy and I have a very loving, intensely sexual, and profoundly open relationship. Andrew Gerland said that he imagined Bernie Andrew Gerland said that he imagined Bernie the other day as a hallway full of closed doors. And every now and then you walk by and you peek into a door, and then it closes real quick, or you just hear something on the other side of the door and you don't know what's on the other side. Bernie has an obsession with the year 1982 that gets mentioned and then yelled at by AJ. Bernie has a practical joke fetish that he also, it turns out, is fluent in Korean, or at least Korean karaoke. He's full of these weird surprises that come out of nowhere, and I love how all the other characters have either already know about all this stuff or have just learned to take these weird surprises in stride. So it's been, comedically, it's really funny because he can come out of nowhere with the weirdest possible revelation or idea or suggestion.
So is it funny that we don't know his backstory at all?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think it's funnier to not see behind a lot of those doors and to just get hints of this guy's character. You know, he shows up into the world fully formed, polymorphously perverse, and completely satisfied with himself. And to learn his backstory is meaningless. You know, one of the things about the show is that it's ridiculous and it's madcap and it's silly, but it's very grounded. And working with the directors that we're working with and working with Andrew, the mission is very clear. These have to be real human moments, not sitcom moments. Bernie, I think, gets to be the most outsized of all of them, but you know, we work hard to make sure that he's a human too.
For you as an actor, is it really like a sense of accomplishment in film that portraying a character that self-satisfied?
Well, I mean, it's an accomplishment. It feels good as an actor to give a performance that is acceptable and then get to lunch. As a human, you know, one acts because they want to pretend to be things that they're not, and to be as sort of profoundly, blithely happy and non-second guessing as Bernie is something that I would aspire to, and I think the other characters do too in their own way, even when they're turning their faces from him in disgust.
Are we seeing more of Bernie this coming season?
I don't have any nude scenes.
That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, no. When you ask, are we seeing more of Bernie, and I don't have any nude scenes, though I imagine that that's inevitable at this point. But Bernie has, you know, last season, Bernie was always there, lurking, arguably stalking in the background. This year, yeah, he does quite a bit more and reveals a lot more secrets about himself in very casual ways, and he's engaged a lot more with the whole family of characters. I'm really thrilled to actually have some scenes opposite Paul Reiser this year. Obviously, working with Nat and Judy is such a thrill, and Nat and I really enjoy each other a lot. And I'm also thrilled by the friendship that has grown between both me and the actor, Brett Gelman, and the characters, AJ and Bernie. You know, AJ had gone through a divorce and then sobered up by the end of last season. And it's clear in the scripts that are coming out and that they just like seeing the two of us together, and that these two lost weirdos kind of have a relationship of their own, you know. Maybe that's why Cindy hasn't mentioned it all, because we're kind of the other couple. I mean, Brett has a romantic arc this season too, with the incredible actress Sarah Burns that is such a great addition to an already amazing cast. But you know, I like to think that the secret romantic arc is between Bernie and AJ.
Is AJ a corrupting force on Bernie this season? It seemed like last
No,
season
no,
he was trying
they're-
to keep him in check.
Yeah, no. AJ is not a corrupting force on Bernie. Bernie is already corrupt. If anything, they spur each other on to different kinds of deviancy. And AJ this season is trying much harder to be a good person and not trying to pull anyone down into his pit of self-hate. You know. So if anything, I think it's Bernie who you know, is spurring people on to the kind of fun that he likes to have.
Well, how does he interact with like Miranda and Gil?
Well, his interactions with Miranda are minimal and largely would have him be arrested. Or at least his interactions with Miranda are minimal and largely would be the subject of civil lawsuits, you know, workplace lawsuits. He has no filter, and there are many inappropriate comments and gestures he makes. As for Gil, I love Zach, who's playing Gil. I just shot a scene with him, and what was so fun was that Gil's character, or Zach's character, Gil, is so odd and off on his own that Bernie finally has someone to look at and goes, "What's with this guy? Like, what's with this weirdo? Like, doesn't get any of my jokes, you know." So it's, it's exciting to find someone to finally condescend to.
So is today's demonstration of the grandpa thing, is that just one of many things we're going to see around the office from Bernie, or is this a shining example of his workplace behavior?
Well, the show has always traveled all over the Valley area of Los Angeles. I'm from New York. I don't know what that means, but it's this area where apparently no one wants to live, and it's just a place where regular people live and work. It's not Hollywood. It's not glamorous. It's just L.A. And hang on a second. Pardon me, internet. And I love that that's, the show has a real world because we're shooting on location constantly. And it's a world that people haven't really seen before. Like the Valley as it is today, very wealthy parts and some delightfully scuzzy parts and everything in between, is a unique world for this show, as Manhattan kind of was to Seinfeld, or as Brooklyn was to Bored to Death, a great television show. And so we're all over the place all the time, but we have begun to settle into a few familiar locations, and Russ's office is one of them. So what's wonderful is that we get to also kind of dip into genres as we go around, because we'll do lots of shots at the bar and it's Cheers, and then we come into Russ's office and it's a workplace comedy, and then we go into someone's house in the middle of the night and all of a sudden it's a murder mystery. It's a lot of fun.
Did you shoot any behind the scenes stuff?
I think I saw one of the sound guys taking some illicit videos,
Okay.
particularly of Grandpa, my alter ego.
I could see like a little featurette on something like that.
No, but I mean, most of the, to be perfectly candid, there hasn't been a ton of stuff like this. There hasn't been a ton of EPK, at least not in my world. When we're working, we're very much focused on the scene. I mean, it's shot like a film. I mean, Rodney, the DP, is incredibly talented, and I think this show has a visual look that is unlike any other single camera comedy on television right now. And so, we don't spend a lot of time joking around. We don't spend a lot of time doing extraneous stuff. We don't spend a lot of time tweeting and periscoping and Instagramming. Like, we're really there to get the most human and ideally funny moment in the scene, and to find it and to get it.
So you've been a part of the Daily Show.
How do you guys arrange who's asking the questions? Is there an order, or is it this silent negotiation? Wow.
You've been part of the Daily Show. Can you talk about Jon Stewart leaving the show? What are your thoughts on that and his legacy?
Yeah. So this November will be the 10th anniversary of my first appearance on the Daily Show. I came on the show as a guest to promote my comedy book, The Areas of My Expertise, still available at all your favorite bookstores, online and on iBooks, and as an audiobook from Audible. And I was a really good guest, as you can tell, and came back on the show the following January to start being a contributor, and have been doing it ever since. The show is family, and though everyone in the family understood that all good things come to an end, it really, I think, gutted everyone, and John especially, when he made the decision. I think it's the right decision. John has created an incredible body of work. He has so much more to do in the world, and I think he will thrive creatively, and I think Trevor Noah will equally thrive. And what I like about Trevor Noah, aside from the fact that he's really funny and will bring a very interesting point of view, is that he's already part of the family, because he was a correspondent to begin with. But it's a big transition, and everyone's, I was there to announce my own retirement from the program, which apparently the entire internet took seriously. I hope that it's not the end. Who knows? Maybe I was getting a secret message from the show. But I'll be there on August 6th when John, that'll be John's last night, and I don't like to think about it. It's going to be a heavy, heavy night. But these are transitions that happen.
Do you know if you're going to be part of the show once Trevor takes over?
I think Trevor needs time to figure out the show that he wants to make. I'd be very proud to continue to be a part of it, but I make no presumptions. He needs freedom. Any host would need freedom to build a show as they want to do it. And, that's what John did when he started the show. And, as someone comes in and takes over these legacy shows, Stephen Colbert will make The Late Show his in the same way that Conan O'Brien made Late Night his after David Letterman left, and The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon became the Jimmy Fallon experience. And so, that needs to happen. So, we'll see.